Could you please introduce yourself and introduce your company, what you guys do? Tell us about it.
Right. First of all, thank you, Yashasvini. Good morning to all the electronics for you audience. It's a pleasure to be here. So, myself, Vishwanathan Rajalingam, fondly addressed as Vish. I'm the Vice President, General Manager of the Mobility and Transportation business at MulticoreWare. MulticoreWare is a global software innovation solutions and services organization. We are primarily focused on software innovations, optimization for heterogeneous computing. Our major customers are global semiconductors that are trying to bring artificial intelligence into real world applications. We help companies across different sectors. I take care of the automotive, robotics, and safety sort of related products. Whereas as an organization, we also do a lot of generative AI, cloud computing, data center computing, and also media. Right? Media is a huge business. The video engineering services is very important. So as an organization, we are a multitude of organizations that also does advancements in industry and smart health. So really applications of AI and optimizing all of these complicated algorithms in semiconductor chipsets, which is very relevant to the electronics for you community, is what my company is doing. And I'm honored once again to be a part of this interview and guest. Thank you so much.
As a head of a automotive division in your company, who's your target customer?
Great. My target customers, as I said, as a heterogeneous company, semiconductors are our first go-to-market target customers. So today the leaders in automotive semiconductor, or even broadly for AI, NVIDIA is sort of the first semiconductor that's leading. But everybody is trying to get a market share, right? So we've got broad customers like, for example, Renesas is one of the biggest automotive microcontroller market. They are quickly trying to capture the microprocessor and ADAS market. So we have a joint our partnership with Renesas, and we are the software partners for AI optimization in Renesas. So the semiconductor family is our first primary set of customers in the automotive. And because really without the semiconductors, you cannot bring any of these functions into the car. So because we're really good in semiconductors, as a complementary, the sensor customers, for example, imaging radar customers, camera customers, leverage our software services to improve their sensor algorithms on very low power semiconductor devices. So it gives us an edge because we have a strong knowledge of AI and semiconductor and sensor processing. The sensor companies work with us, right? So now you can see that sensors and semiconductors are really what brings in functions like ADAS and in-cabin safety together. So indirectly, we target the tier ones and OEMs as our customer strategy. So to sum up, you start with semiconductors, go up to sensors, and then go up to tier ones and OEMs that bring into it.
Could you tell me something about the product profiles that you have, product categories you have for these semiconductors?
Perfect. So as I said, we are a solutions and services company. Right? Our primary DNA as an organization is understanding the heterogeneous architecture. So if you take a semiconductor for the mobility market today, there is so much features that are coming in. And you have a combination of CPU, graphic processor units for digital cockpit and the graphics. And of course, you have a lot of AI acceleration, just like the mobile phone. So our engineers are trained to be able to program each of these silicon very, very well. So that's our strong value add to the market. So customers leverage our services business to give us project and innovation ideas to bring efficient software to the market. So compared to our services, we also build solutions. Like, for example, we have a performance analyzer tool, and we try to build an advanced AI inference engine that customers leverage because at the end, every semiconductor is trying to improve the accelerate and the performance per watt. So a combination of our knowledge as product engineering services and our performance analyzer tools and benchmarking tools, really what the customers leverage from us.
What is the expanse of your customer segment? What all regions do you touch base with?
Yeah. So as I said, as an organization, we are a very diverse organization going from compute, mobility, media, and Industry 4.0. But primarily on the mobility sector, automotive is the volume segment. So we target and start with automotive customers. As I said, from semiconductor, which then eventually supply into passenger cars, heavy vehicle trucks. But also as an engineering innovation company, we work with organizations that build next generation drones, next generation cobots, right? In industry environment, robotics is becoming more and more very important. So our software services is also widely relevant to the robotics industry. We are also actively looking to see how we can support the defense as a segment and also aviation through urban air mobility. So those are areas where we want to expand into in the near future.
All the applications that you've mentioned are mission critical applications. Incorporating the usage of AI in these mission critical applications, what kind of rules and regulations do you have to train your products for to, make the development process easier for your customer?
So you asked an amazing question, Yashasvini, right? As you said, mission critical systems are the most challenging systems to apply artificial intelligence into. For example, bringing artificial intelligence on a TV or even our smartphones, which is not mission critical, it's a lot more simpler problem compared to where you have to take a decision. For example, ADAS or a safety decision, or if we talk about defense in weaponry, for example, you need to have the artificial intelligence algorithm react very, very fast. So in the world of AI, you have two phases. One is called a training phase and one is called an inference phase. Our primary solutions and services are on the inference to make all of these decisions in a real-time manner. So you have to be able to operate in milliseconds, certain time in nanoseconds to make these decisions really faster. So our core business is to help our customers get all these AI models in a very quantized and efficient manner that is giving them the same results. Right? If you can understand, simplifying software should not come at the cost of losing accuracy. So it's a right trade-off you need to get between performance and accuracy. And our constant challenge is really making sure you get that trade-off very well. And it's also very dependent on the industry it comes from and what the function of the use case is. So to your second question on the standards, if you see automotive as a product, there is ISO 26262, which is the functional safety regulation standard. But AI is a very different software. It's not a traditional software. There is no full determinism involved. So there are also new standards and bodies that is coming along to build relevant standards that's applicable to AI. And we are paying very close attention to those standards to make sure the software where we simplify all these complex AI also conforms to process and quality. That's the way the end product is fully secure for the market, especially automotive.
With all of this data that you're dealing with, do you also incorporate open source in your usage to make your products cost effective? At the same time, open source is a wide community. So is there any role of open source there?
So, open source today in the world of AI is completely endorsed by every company. Right? For example, if Google did not open source TensorFlow, Facebook did not completely support PyTorch as a community, we would not see such a rapid pace of AI. So anybody that says they are using AI is in sense embracing open source. And as an organization at MulticoreWare, our founder, CEO, and the executive team is always embracing open source very, very well. For example, on the media side, we have our own open source software. For example, X265 and X266 are reference implementation of industry standard video encoders called H265 and H266. So these are completely open source. We have a non-profit team where a set of engineers are pushing the limits and anybody can leverage the open source benefits we gain. This is on our media business. Coming to the automotive, we apply the same principle as it's our co-founder's DNA to support and avail what is there in open source, but also contribute back to the community. So in automotive, we are partnering very closely with a foundation called AutoWare Foundation, which tries to push limits and bring in common ecosystem standards. So we are trying to work very closely with the AutoWare Foundation in automotive to make sure innovations that we can bring, we also share it with the open source, and what the community brings, we can leverage that in our products and solutions.
When we talk about ADAS in automotive, how does your global market compare to the India market?
Today, the maturity of ADAS, I'll also add in-cabin safety, right? Because if you take a look at the broad industry trend, 7 years or up to 5 years ago, we had a lot of level 5, level 4. People wanted to get this fully self-driving on the road immediately. But the industry is resetting expectations, putting safety first, and everybody is trying to do level 2 and level 3. So in the level 2 and level 3, you are helping building products to help the driver. You're not removing the driver out of the equation. So ADAS is one, but you also need to see how much you can improve safety of the driver inside the cabin. Right? So we'll talk about both. Really, on both of these ADAS and in-cabin segment, the global markets, especially the US market, is more mature. But interestingly, the China market is a lot more advanced. There is a lot of adoption to China. We cannot omit China as a geography. We have to pay very close attention to on how the China market is evolving. Because companies like BYD and NIO, which are these new age electric vehicle companies, they are able to bring in all these software safety features at a very competitive cost and putting a lot of price pressure in global companies, right? And to us as a country in India, while features are very important for our consumers, the price point is the most challenging, right? The biggest challenge in Indian ecosystem is bringing all these innovations in a frugal manner. So you need to get the state of the art advanced, but be frugal in engineering. So I would say there's a lot of adoption. Today, if you take a look at it, Maruti Suzuki Dzire in their global European international market, in Dzire, they've already brought in L2 ADAS system with camera. So very soon we will see all these features in India. In our primary business today, the US and Europe markets is my major customer base, but I'm also getting active interest for Indian customers to leverage my services and our company's product portfolio. Because consumers in India are wanting to have these safety features. But the challenge is how do we make it cost effective? And we as an organization, I believe, are well positioned because we are trying to compress the best of AI for the smallest possible processes, overall reducing the bill of materials for the OEMs. But really, the frugal innovation is the challenge, and I'm sure we are going to get there. In addition to the ADAS, on the in-cabin side, we are actually building a product with a radar solution where we want to use a radar to be able to detect a driver's heartbeat or presence of a child in a car, right? As you can see today, a major set of cause of accident is not being able to predict when a driver is facing a heart attack or when a driver is having fatigue. In India, driver monitoring systems are not popular as of yet, and we are trying to partner with companies to try to bring that to the market. And there is also concern about using cameras for privacy. People don't want to monitor everything inside a car. So we are trying to do it with a radar. So you don't have people-specific information. You're also trying to preserve. And in our company's website, we talk about how with the radar, we are able to find accurate heartbeat of a driver. So we are trying to push the boundaries of innovation, be frugal. But I'm very sure in the next 3 to 5 years, a lot of Indian cars will have all of these products as a part of the portfolio.
The kind of software that you're providing, is this software also compatible with RISC-V?
Interesting question. Actually, as I said, going back to the open source, right, we are one of the best heterogeneous experts. Our company pays very close attention to RISC-V processors. We definitely want to provide software services to RISC-V. And we are actually partnering to some companies that already are building full solutions based on RISC-V. While as a solution, is it all running ready on RISC-V? I would say there is still some time to go. But definitely RISC-V is something our services are compatible for. And we really see the market adoption improving, even in automotive, both on the CPU side, but also on the AI accelerator side. That's what we observe. India is continuing to be a price-sensitive market, and that's where the volume comes from. And I think in the morning keynote panel, Mr. Madhusudan sir was emphasizing this. It's very important that India has all the technology, ability, and talent in-house. We just need to be able to connect the use cases that our consumers want and have the product engineering design mentality to be able to build in India and deliver it for India. And definitely with the current government initiatives, all the companies are coming together, forming consortium. And thanks to Electronics for You show, bringing all of us in the community together a place like this, this is where we sort of push the next generation of innovation together.
Currently, India for you, is it developer-centric market or a consumer-centric market?
Currently, India, the global market sees India as a development-centered market, right? But we are fast evolving to be the largest consumer-centered market. So when it comes to consumerism and the markets, we cannot limit what the geopolitical world is thinking about. And as you can see, China is trying to do all build own, ship own sort of products and extremely being price competitive, as I told before in the interview. And the US and India are all trying to also stay a little arm's length from China. So this gives for the global market and the Indian owned market. India is the biggest consumer segment. And our price potential and buying potential is increasing by the day compared to the rest of the world. So it is actually the right time Indian companies have to come together to build products for India because we are rightly positioned to match the price sensitivity. So I would say we are today more development focused, but advancedly becoming consumer focused.
You have talked about the opportunities that we have in the ADAS segment in India, across the globe. You've talked about the challenges as well. Anything you'd like to add as a closing note?
But I would say India is really focusing on semiconductor manufacturing, and we already have a plethora of software technology. It is important that all Indian companies embrace each other, and we all look at the mentality of being able to do things fast and rapid, and also try to see how can you reduce the time from innovation to product. I think that's really where we will be able to capture the consumers and service the consumers well. So our services, for example, bringing AI real time at MulticoreWare for a broad set of customers, we are trying to optimize it. Every consumer segment, even two-wheeler and India's homegrown four-wheeler manufacturers, should start operating as a software organization, not as a hardware organization, because consumers want market very, very quickly. Otherwise, you'll lose the share. So as long as we focus on time to market, quality, value for money, as Indian companies, we can deliver the best products for our consumers.
All right. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much, Vishwanath.
Thank you so much.